record now, and you're recording.
I'm interviewing Susan E. Soto Phillips at Shinnecock Museum and Cultural Center on Shinnecock Indian Reservation, Long Island, New York. Sergeant Soto is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, served in the Gulf War, from 682 to 292. Susan resides on Shinnecock Indian Reservation. Her birthday is September 22nd, 1959. And she is an enrolled member of the Shinnecock Indian Nation. What would you like us to know about you?
Well, I was born on the reservation, lived here all my life till I was a graduate in 1977. In 1979, I moved to New Jersey and worked for 3 years. And then I moved back home and couldn't find a job. It was hard to find a job around here because back in my time growing up, to find a job around here was kind of hard because of stereotyping of the reservation. So I decided to enlist in the military. And the first armed forces that I tried to get into was the Navy. I didn't pass my ASVAB test with good results, so the only one I qualified was for the Army, which I didn't want to go into. So I got a tutor, Roberta Hunter. And she helped me with my math and other areas of the ASVAB, which is the Armed Service Vocabulary Vocation Aptitude Battery Test that you have to take to get into the military. And the second time I took the test, I passed with enough high scores to put me in the Air Force. I actually had a choice between the Navy and the Air Force, and I chose the Air Force. And then I went to the Air Force in June 6, 1982.
Which wars did you serve in?
I served actively. I served in the Gulf War. My job was in intelligence, so I was involved in a lot of other campaigns, like the campaign in Panama to remove Miguel Noriega. I was involved in the campaign to get, well, not really get rid of, but to, I guess they were like teaching a lesson to the Ayatollah Khomeini when they bombed the house there. There's a lot of things that I were involved in. Actual physical in the area of responsibility was during Desert Storm. And I left to go to Desert Storm on August 2nd, 1990. And I returned April 1992. 1991. I first was deployed to North Carolina, to the base there as a holdover till I got my orders. And then I was there for 2 weeks. Then I got my orders to go to MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. I was there for 2 weeks, and then I finally got deployed to Saudi Arabia. And I was at King Fahd Military Air Base for 6 months, working with intelligence, with special forces, and coalition forces.
Did you see combat?
Not really, unless you call seeing Scud missiles flying over your head at combat. It was, when we first got there, it was in August at the beginning of the campaign. And at the beginning, there was really, you were on your own. There was no bases set up for protection. So we were there basically at the airport by ourselves. We had an evacuation plan should something come about, and we were going to be invaded by the Iraqis. We had a evacuation plan where we had to get all the records and databases and stuff like that, and move out of the area. I worked with the Special Forces, the Navy SEALs, the Special Forces, the Air Force, ROMADs. We worked with Australian intelligence and English intelligence. I was pretty much, when I first got there, it was like 3 females and the rest were males, which was kind of different because females in Saudi Arabia cannot just wander around freely. And when we had a chance to go downtown, we were kind of treated like we were dirty peasants because we were females, one, we were Americans, two, and we were not showing respect to the Saudi Arabians' culture by covering our whole bodies up. So we had to wear long sleeve shirts in 102-degree weather and wear hats, but our faces were still exposed. So whenever we went to the supermarket or, McDonald's or one of the fast food places they had around there, the Saudi Arabian men would make their wives turn around so they couldn't see us because we were a bad influence, I guess. I don't know. But I was there from August, and then all the joint forces started coming in real heavy in about November, and that's when things got a little rough and heated then. So.
Tell me a couple of your most memorable experiences.
Well, I guess my most memorable experience being in the military was serving on the Honor Guard. I did that from the time I got in to my first base in Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, Texas, which was way in the middle of a dirt ball, dust ball area. It was just way out there in the middle. And I did a lot of veteran funerals and stuff like that. Way out in the middle of Texas. And then when I got stationed in Hawaii, I continued on doing the Honor Guard thing. And we did a lot of ceremonies in Punch Bowl, which is the Hawaiian Veterans Cemetery. And it's located in the middle of a extinct volcano, and it's really beautiful. My most memorable funeral that I did in Punch Bowl was having the honor of being on the burial detail for Ellison Onizuka, who was one of the astronauts that got killed in the Challenger space, space shuttle. We had to receive his body at Hickam Air Force Base, and then we had to accompany it to Kona, where he lived, and we would witness the ceremony, which he was Japanese, but they do a really Buddhist, intense ceremony. It's really something. So we watched that. There was like an hour and a half, that ceremony. and then we had to accompany the body back to Honolulu, to Hickam, and then we did the funeral at Punch Bowl, and it was really, really an honor, really, really something. So that was one of my most memorable times in the service.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yeah, I got the Southwest Asia, which is from Desert Storm, Kuwaiti Liberation Medal, which is from Desert Storm, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Desert Storm, the Commendation Medal, which is from the Air Force. It's next to the highest medal you can get from the Air Force. I got a citation of appreciation doing a honor guard ceremony when President Reagan came to Hickam Air Force Base. I was a member of that detail. And I think that's about the highest ones anyway.
What is it you want people to understand about you and your experience as a veteran?
I guess it's a lot of people don't want their children to go into the military because they say they're going to get killed and stuff like that. But my experience was the military was very positive. I was glad I went in, and I was glad I was deployed over war, because you have to face your fears. And going over to war at first, it wasn't that bad, but then when the campaign started kicking up, it got kind of scary. But you have to believe in something. My belief was that my ancestors would get me through it. So I was always leaning on them, praying to them, thinking of them and stuff like that when things were getting hard. And I just want people to know that unless you try something, you never know what the outcome's going to be. In life, success is not always guaranteed to fall in your lap. You have to go after it. So to do things and be successful in it, it's something that everybody should try.
So you relied on your Native American spirituality to get you through the tougher times during your service time.
Yes, I did. And when I came back home, after seeing my parents and getting a little rest, the next thing I did was go down to the cemetery and thank all my ancestors for helping me get back to my land. And it was a pretty emotional thing, because to actually be there and you have this strange feeling that they're embracing you. It's like I felt hands on me when I actually went down to the cemetery. And that was something, because I thought I'd never get back to that place again.
Susan, you're very active with veterans on and off the reservation. Why is that work important to you?
Well, I know there are a lot of veterans out there that don't know what they're entitled to, having served, having to take that step to sign that paper, or get drafted and actually have to go to war overseas and things like that. And they should be honored for everything that they did. And there are programs out there, and there are things that are available to them that a lot of them don't know about. And also, sometimes they don't get the recognition that they deserve. So I just want to see all the veterans, even if the ones that went and just served for 2 weeks and, got out because they had a medical problem or something like that. They still made that decision to try something and leave this area, or even just go and, try and serve their country, which is everybody's country because we all live here. So you're defending the nation, and we're all in this nation together. So just trying to see that people get what they deserve, the benefits and the programs and everything, and make sure that no veteran is left behind, no veteran is homeless, no veteran is hungry, all that.
If you could just use one word to describe your service, what would that be?
Wow, that's a hard one. Enriching.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, not really.
Okay. It's February 22nd, 2014. My name is Paula Bess Collins. I've conducted the interview with Sergeant Soto.